Welcome back, 1034, Heart of the River Bend on this 22nd day of November. And the Green Gift Bazaar is coming up this weekend because Small Business Saturday, well, it's a Saturday. The name says it itself. And this is 20 years in the making. How does it feel having this be the 20-year anniversary of the Green Gift Bazaar?
Really good, actually. The event has grown not only in vendors, in the space that we have to hold it. We actually have it at 2 locations now.
That's incredible. And I did this earlier, so let me correct my mistake again. Christine Favilla is the Three River Project co-coordinator. I got all of that in. Thought Excellent. I was going to botch it. And she joins me now. But coming up, so this has been, you've been with this from start to, to present. I don't want to say finished because you guys ain't done yet.
No, not at all.
And how has this kind of evolved? Because we'll get into all the overview of the event in a second, but this is incredible. 20 years of anything is pretty impressive.
It is.
This is cool.
Kind of makes me feel a little old, not gonna lie. But yes, it has started, well, it started out, we did it on Black Friday. Earlier, not as early as those sales would start, but we were at the mall. So we would rent 2 different store spaces out right next to each other and set up and try and talk people that were coming in, at 10 o'clock and so on forth to just think about shopping local and not just those big box stores with those big ticket items.
Well, this is a second segment in a row, but this is actually day 14 in a row. I'm over the wish list on Amazon. I am just over every type of online shopping. You can go to the Green Gift Bazaar or one of the many other local small businesses in town, and you can buy something that's meaningful to somebody that's not going to line Uncle Bezos's pocket that we're never going to see. I mean, the small businesses invest in our community, and on Saturday we get a good chance to help them out and really just find some great stuff. How many vendors do you have this year?
We have the most ever. We have 40 vendors.
Oh, wow.
And that's because we have it in 2 locations. So at Jacoby Art Center.
Okay.
And then also at the Post Commons.
Now, is this the first time you've done 2 locations, or is this reoccurring?
We did it last year because of COVID.
That's right.
But we only had 30 vendors. We wanted to keep them very well spread out. So we decided we can grow it a little bit more. It seems a little bit safer. Yeah. And we just hated to turn down all the vendors that kept trying to get a spot.
And that's always that's a great problem to have, but it's also a very awkward conversation to have too. I could imagine going, just with COVID, we got to find these kind of requirements. And how was it bouncing back from the COVID years? Because I've asked everybody this because it affects every event and organization differently. How did it affect you guys, and how did you guys kind of climb up out of the hole and get right back on the horse?
Well, like I said, we had it at 2 locations, and we were spread out. It was the first event that the Sierra Club had done since the beginning of the pandemic.
Really?
And so, yes, we had to make sure we had our safety plan in place, and that had to go up to Sierra Club National, which, just making sure that we really were crossing our T's and dotting our I's and not wanting to become a super spreader.
Right.
Pretty much everybody that wanted to wore masks, so that seemed to help as well. So this year, I'm going to be excited to see a few of the vendors that I couldn't quite see their whole face last year. It'll be nice.
That's incredible. So take us through the 40 vendors. I'm just assuming and sure that there is a gift item or a vendor for everybody.
Absolutely.
And then some.
Well, we have it as a green gift bazaar, and there are certain green guidelines that each vendor has to follow.
I like this.
So they have to be handmade. More than 50% of their item cannot be a first-time use material. So no plastic from China coming over to make a necklace. That's not the type of item you'll find here.
I love it.
Yes. So very artistic, resourceful people have put a lot of time into what they consider to be their eco-friendly gifts. For instance, we do have wood carving and ceramics that will be from Curvy Creations. And so she uses the end pieces at mills of wood. We have upcycled wool sweaters made into mittens.
Oh, those would be some really warm mittens.
Yes. A lot of different jewelry pieces, found items, natural items, such as stone and shells, but wire wrapped. That's difficult to say.
It's okay. I can barely say, whenever I open the show, I say, good afternoon,
But the wire is, they go out to the recycling centers for electronics and collect that wire. So it really is a conscious decision to try and come up with creative, but very nice looking items.
Well, and that's what's so cool about this. There's not one item that I've seen it going to the bazaar. I try to go every time you guys have it, which, is every year, but it seems like there's never one item that goes, it's not, that doesn't look like it's worth, the $10 or $15. Everything is top of the line and pristine. I mean, it really is.
Yes, I absolutely believe that as well. We have a lot of incredible entrepreneurs in the area. So some of the booths, as we're mapping them out and making sure that, certain friends want to be next to each other.
Right.
We don't want, all the tie-dye booths right next to each other. We realize not all of them are actual businesses. There's a lot of mom and pop and just, whoever coming up with these products. Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
There's going to be, pet accessories, so not just human gifts that day.
Which is great because Petco is way too expensive to buy a chew toy now. That's gonna they aren't even the safe chew toys that are cheap.
And they're
anymore.
probably coming over from China.
Yeah.
Which whatever your political geo, whatever stance that is, it's the petroleum and the amount of energy it takes to get that product to the United States and then to a store and just the whole realm of trying to be environmentally conscious.
It's the common sense argument I have for it. It's just, just ask yourself, come on, this or just buying a mass-produced product that probably was made in the same factory 18,000 other products were too.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm right there with you on
We
this.
have customers or patrons that have come since the very first one.
Now, how is that for you?
It's awesome. I mean, they used to come when the daughters were, 5 years old, and the mom, I'm thinking of a particular family with
Cool.
twins, and so the mom would take one of the girls and the dad the other, and they would go around and pick out gifts for each other there. They still come. Every single one of that family comes to this event because they understand the importance of it. And when it got switched to Small Business Saturday, we were really happy and excited to work with Alton Main Street. They do a lot with small businesses.
Well, and Sarah McGibney, who's come on the show a couple of times. I mean, she is wonderful, and you guys have a great relationship and a great kind of teamwork with Alton Main Street and Sarah's organization, Sarah's group, and fine team over there. How has that been? I mean, that's got to make it almost like it was great. And now it's just like this,
You are absolutely right. Sarah and I pretty much live in our Google Sheets. We're database junkies, and constantly contacting each other after 11 p.m. It doesn't matter. We're both up.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right. That teamwork is wonderful. And then Jacoby's Art Center has really stepped up their participation as well. So super thrilled.
And you and Sarah have a great way of tying in that small business to local vendor fair for Green Gift Bazaar, but also now with Jacoby's Art Center tying in that local artist scene that's been thriving for the last couple of years. This is cool.
Yeah, and one of the really unique features is because the post is, I'm just going to guess, 6 blocks away from Jacoby's, maybe a little bit more.
Right, yeah.
Sarah does a wonderful job reaching out to all the local businesses and puts together a brochure that will be available at both of those locations so that you can walk from one to the other. And you'll have specials. You'll have even Bluff City Grill has some wonderful deals going on that day. So it highlights the small business, shop small, shop local.
Absolutely. And I do this to people all the time. You were in your rhythm, you were talking about the vendors, and I start throwing weird questions out at you. What other vendors are coming through? Don't let me stop you now.
Right.
I'm sorry.
One of my favorites, I will have to say by name, is the Jabberwocky Emporium. And that's Dave and Adriana Daniel.
Okay.
And they have so many unique items. They call it unique geekery.
Oh, cool.
So, if it has anything to do with monsters, fairies, mandrakes, they are using post-consumer materials in very unique ways. I almost always get something from them.
So what are the stuff? I've never seen their booth before, so take us through that one. What does that kind of look like?
Well, they have a process of, I believe it is 20 plastic grocery bags, getting melted in a way that the vapors aren't, in their home or anything. Yeah. And they are made into wands. So there might be a dragon's eye, at the end of one. And so kids really get into just those small, simple things. I mean, wands can be really magical for children. And that these are not, once again, bought at a store where there's hundreds of them. They're so unique.
Well, and that's what I was just thinking, because I have so many little ones in my family right now that are huge Harry Potter and Wizard fans to begin with. get them their own custom-made wand. I mean, it's basically it is custom-made because it's not in the mold that everyone else's is being made in.
Yep. We do actually have a couple 3D printers.
Oh, really?
Yep. And so they use biodegradable cornstarch-based filament.
Now that's cool.
Yes.
I was gonna, because whenever you said that, I went, how does that work?
Right. So once again, people are very creative with the materials they're using. I'm just gonna kind of run through a few of them.
Go through it.
We have herbal apothecary products like beeswax candles, elixirs, bath and skin products, lots of silverware jewelry. I actually have a ring on that I got last year.
Oh wow, that looks really cool.
It's really nice. And then there's more jewelry made from seeds and nuts paired with vintage and upcycled beads, recycling that copper wire like I had mentioned. There are acrylic port arts. And so they're making sure they're using VOC paints, volatile organic compound free. VOC free paints. Sorry about that.
Okay, that was impressive. I don't know how you remember that off the top of your head, but great for you. I can't do that.
Like I said, we'll have some pet toys, such as, and bandanas and cute little sweaters. We actually have a new vendor this year, the Get Sell Fair Trade.
Okay.
It's spelled kind of like a gazelle, but it's Get Sell.
I like
so if you're wanting to look that up, they're all going to have a lot of beautiful African made baskets, sandstones, banana leaf art, and then some of their proceeds go back to the different African countries.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So we are super excited this year. We've got a lot of new faces. We've got a lot of our familiar ones. So, the ones that have had booths for the last 10 years or so, they kind of have an idea of the volume of people that come through and the pace and what to do. And there's a lot of new ones that we just keep getting phone calls and emails about that as well. It's really hard to gauge at two different locations. We used to have a counter when we were at the YWCA. We could guarantee that we had 619 people this year. It's difficult when you move.
Throw a multiplier on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't imagine that. And now I got to ask you, and this is what's cool about having you on, because you've been here from start to current. How have the products evolved? Because with all this new technology, I could only imagine how, initially the vendors were coming in with some handmade items to now. I mean, it's got to be just night and day. Absolutely
it is. Yes. When we started out at the mall, we just had one store. And within about 2 or 3 years, we moved into the second store. And then when we decided it was Small Business Saturday started to become a thing.
Right.
And so we had held it at several different places, even Bigelow's Bistro in Edwardsville one year.
Wow.
Well, and that is unfortunately a restaurant that's closed.
Right.
But, the wife of one of the owners and chefs was also a handcrafter. And so that's it started out organically as far as, we had a little coffee shop in Alton. Then we had it at the RiverBender upstairs for several years.
Oh, well, I hate when people do that. I don't know everything. So whenever they say RiverBender and I act like I know it, then people call me out and go, but you weren't even here. Right. That is so cool. So it was upstairs?
Yes, it was first year, first level. Second year, we had to expand to the second level. And then we went to the YWCA.
Wow. Just got too big, huh?
It did,
well,
yes.
And how does that, to me, people don't realize whenever they see something successful, they go, oh, that's great. But when you're the person that's going through and seeing all this scaled growth and you're dealing with it all, that's got to be a lot to kind of manage and keep, in an efficient funnel to kind of keep growing to next year. How has that been for you?
Well, thankfully we have Sarah.
Right.
No, she is an absolute huge
Without
help.
a doubt.
And we do put on a couple of other events together. And so we're kind of used to, accepting vendors and registrations and how to even word it when maybe their products aren't green. So I'm sorry, but you're not accepted, kind of things.
Now, does that happen quite frequently?
For the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival, quite a bit more than Green Gift. I think I only had to turn down one person this year.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yes.
Well, they were selling gas anyway. No, I'm just kidding. So a couple of minutes left. Is there any other vendor that you want to highlight specifically before we flip it back to the overview of this?
Oh, gosh. Well, we have a Charity Davis Woodard. She has honeywood hives.
Oh.
So she has her own bees. She harvests the beeswax, and she also tins them, without any kind of chemicals. We know it's all organic. And then she'll make solar wax melters.
That is so cool. So you're telling me, hold on here, if I have a little window seal, I can throw my wax melter over there for the day, and when I come home at night, I can just don't have to replace anything or power cord.
I do believe that is exactly how that works. I'm excited to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited. That'd actually be the first vending booth I go to.
And I also think that the alpacas, Kathy Bayer has been there for several of them off and on. So alpaca fiber products. I have a pair of alpaca boot, I guess you'd almost call them boot warmers.
Wow.
Yeah, so you just put that, down where your sole of your shoes is, underneath your,
Yeah.
and it's so toasty and soft and comfortable. There are a lot of upcycled products, such as old cigar boxes that are being turned into shadow boxes with different themes.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you have someone that's maybe into steampunk or
Yeah.
really loves I Love Lucy, one of those kitschy type of themes, this would be a really creative booth to go to and check out.
That is so awesome.
We are just super excited that we have so many artists in the area, and I know that you may already have them coming on, but the winter market at Old Bakery Beer Company will have a little bit of competition that Saturday.
Right.
But then they're going to host local artists every Saturday of the month through Christmas.
Now that's really cool.
It's kind of like there are so many wonderful opportunities.
Well, and this is something I wanted to ask Sarah last time, and I'm probably going to text her and go, well, this is the question I was going to ask you, but I want to ask you this. You guys have had this vision, for a long time, it seems like your guys' group of, people that work together, of this Alton with, local businesses coming together with, the artist scene, and then the community coming out and helping support these vending booths. How was that to kind of finally, it seems like the last couple of years, everything just kind of fit together, and it's been just nonstop success for you guys, and not just for you guys, but for our community, because when your organizations are successful, turns out we're pretty successful too. How's that been?
It's been really good. Of course, trying to do anything during the pandemic was a little tricky, but, we got very creative. For instance, for the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival, we had a scavenger hunt.
That was cool.
So people could get on their phones and go through it, and at the end, they came and they got their T-shirt and a little bit of celebration photos and whatnot. So you just kind of have to be creative, especially when you're working very local.
Right.
But you have to remember how much more money stays in the community.
Exactly.
We would much rather have maybe it's an event that wasn't such a huge success. It's still, we hear, feedback from the vendors, how positive it was, how they actually made a lot of money, and you're thinking, well, yay, this isn't going down to an Alabama headquarters.
Exactly.
It's staying here.
I never saw a Bezos-funded Alton Park and Rec soccer team, No. It's just, and that's what I'm so glad that you reiterated that, Christine. And once again, give us the overview of the event before we say goodbye for now. This weekend, Small Business Saturday, it's the Green Gift Bazaar, and I will be there, and so will half the town.
Excellent. Yes, it is from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And as I mentioned, it's at 2 locations, the Post Commons, which is at the corner of 3rd and Albee, and then Jacoby, which is off of Broadway, very close to Henry and Ridge. And it's just an open house style. There's no fee to come in. I will say we have partnered with Ameren this year. The Sierra Club used to always collect Christmas lights, so burnt out Christmas strands. You don't want to throw those away. There's some heavy metals in there, lots of plastics. They don't disintegrate, but they can be recycled at proper facilities. This year, like I said, we're actually partnering with Ameren, and if you bring in a strand of lights that no longer work, they will give you a strand of LED Christmas lights.
That's cool. That is so cool. And they look really good, too. All right, Christine, I really appreciate your time today. Anything else I'm forgetting?
Well, I will say that we are going to have a musician at Jacoby's off and on throughout the day, and the live painter. So you'll actually get a little bit more artistry there. But definitely come out, shop local. If you don't do it at this event, there's so many wonderful events around town in the next few weeks. Always go and sponsor them.
Absolutely. And that'll be really cool. I have to go check out the live painting. That'll be really, really fun.
Yes, he's fun.
10:53 in this heart of the Riverbend, downtown Alton on the 22nd day of November. We come right back to wrap up our daily show after this quick break.